Welcome to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon, let's get to it.
Welcome to Undisputed, live from Los Angeles. I'm Alex Curry here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe. Good morning, guys. How we doing this Friday?
I'm doing real.
Are you really?
Real good.
I cannot understand what happened to the phony goat last night. He had 16 points. That's like half his average.
Whoa.
Wait, he was 0 for 5 from 3?
So you don't want to talk about it?
It's LeBron we're talking about.
What about those rebounds?
Huh?
What about
he had a
those
bunch. He had a bunch.
What about assists?
Against the tiny little...
Oh, not a tiny.
Tiny little Rockets.
I'm feeling real good. My Super Bowl pick.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Well, let's get to the game last night, the NFL game, because it is back. It took Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs just a quarter to get going last night. Then it was all KC. The Texans were the first to score, but then it was the Chiefs who finished the game on a 34-13 run to finish the final 3 quarters. Mahomes had just over 200 yards through the air, along with 3 touchdowns on an efficient 24-for-32 night. So, Shannon, what was your biggest takeaway from last night?
Well, I'm feeling good about my pick.
I'd say you should.
They picked right up where they left off, Skip. It's going to be very difficult to stop this team because now they can really run the football. The thing is that, okay, when we set our defense, okay, what are we going to take away? We want to take away Mahomes. So what we're going to do, we're going to play coverage. So we're going to have a light box, and we're going to try to get guys up on the routes, try to play up over the top. And guess what? Edwards-Helaire, against a light box, 10 rushes, 96 yards. Skip, what he finished with, Skip? He had a good day, right?
Yeah.
25 for $138. Now, there are a couple of guys that had rushing days like that, and they either saw the stat, they either won the rushing title or they were Rookie of the Year.
Well, it was a better debut than Saquon had.
Yeah, we talk about Saquon. We talk about Saquon a little later, maybe another show.
Yeah.
It's going to be very difficult to stop this team, Skip. And when you look at the numbers, Mahomes, I mean, he just ain't going to throw no interception on opening day, Skip. That just ain't going to happen. I don't know when it's going to happen. And he just, as Alex said, a very efficient. He should have had 4 touchdowns because Robinson dropped one. Skip, let's take a look at this. I mean, I don't know what to say about Mahomes. Yeah. Show this pass.
Yeah.
He should have 4 touchdowns, Skip.
You're calling for video?
Yeah. He dropped one earlier, too. He dropped that one. You remember he had the one earlier?
Tough catch, but he dropped it.
You know what, Skip, baby? I can't believe
Shannon Sharpe would have put that in his back pocket. I got it.
So you compare Robinson to Shannon Sharpe?
Yes, I am. Yes.
Okay. But normally when we think of Chiefs, we think of quick strike. 50 yards, 60 yards, over the top, boom, gone.
I agree.
Now they're going 11 plays, 75 yards, 16 plays, 85 yards. That's the longest drive of his young career.
Okay.
As far as plays.
Yep.
And they can do that, so now they can hit you with the quick strike, and they can grind the game out.
Yep.
Skip, you know, they're the first team to win a Super Bowl, had the fewest carries in the NFL. And so now they can run it with this young kid, Edwards-Helaire. Skip, you got your work cut out for it. Now, the defense is going to have to shore up because I'm sure people are looking like, oh, David Johnson had some holes. He's running the ball. And Deshaun didn't play bad. But at the end of the day, Skip, Kansas City is just a better team than the Texans. And I don't know what Bill O'Brien was thinking. I thought David Johnson had a great debut with the Texans.
Yep.
But ain't no way I'm giving up D-Hop for David Johnson.
I'd say. If you look at Deshaun's receivers last night, Fuller caught 8, and then it just drops off the cliff.
Yeah.
And my man Kenny Stills was nowhere to be found. He had 2 targets and no catches. Brandon Cooks had 2 for 20. It just doesn't look good for the near future of the Houston Texans.
No.
Okay, my takeaway from last night was I sat back at the end of the night, and my first thought was, I got a proof of that no good Shannon Sharpe gloating about his Lakers and, quote-unquote, his Chiefs, and I still don't understand how somebody who bleeds orange, a Denver Bronco, has now jumped aboard and is driving the bandwagon of the Kansas City Chiefs, the team that you were raised in football to hate.
Yep.
Am I right about
Raiders
that?
too.
Huh?
Raiders also.
And Chiefs.
Yes.
Now you love the Chiefs.
I don't know if I love the Chiefs. I like rooting for my homeboy.
Okay, I'll give you that much. So the other thought I had at the end of the night when I sat back was, this is almost unfair. Seriously. Because I told you on the show repeatedly how much I loved Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I pushed before the draft. I was hoping Brady's new team would snatch him in the second round and that Brady would have another option to toss it to or hand it to, because Clyde Edwards-Helaire can catch the football, and he was not needed to catch the ball last night, right?
Nope.
So, again, Andy Reid had the foresight, once again, to snatch him right up in the second round, and I knew it when I saw it on...
The tail end of the first. He took the last pick of the first
last pick. I always think of it as early second. But the point was, once he snatched him, I said, Patrick Mahomes just got even better. That's hard to fathom, but he just got even better, and it was proven out last night because look what they did. Would you believe they ran the ball 34 times as a team to only 32 passes? Andy Reid said, I'm going to run the ball. Now, it was rainy. It looked like it was off and on, and I don't know if that hurt the passing attack a bit, but the point was he ran it 2 more times, then he threw it. That's because 25 carries went to the little man from LSU. And I got to throw this in real quick because I get the comparisons to MJD, Maurice Jones-Drew.
Right.
This little man already reminds me of somebody I covered for a long time. And I don't believe this is hyperbole. He's got some Emmitt Smith going on. Emmitt Smith was 5'9", 210-ish. This young man is 5'7", 207-ish, okay? They're out of the same mold. They run the same way. Emmitt's greatest strength was you couldn't see him. He was short enough that he would duck and dodge behind those elephant linemen that they had. And Clyde Edwards-Helaire has those Emmitt feet, those stutter steps.
Skip, I don't know if he's as good a pure runner as Emmitt was. Now, he might, because he can catch obviously he can catch the ball, and Emmitt didn't run in the offset. Skip, you know, they run a lot of, you know, that zone read and stuff like that, so he's going to be really good.
Okay,
but as far as just pitching and then tossing it to him.
The balance, could we see the 27-yard run?
Oh, yeah.
Did you see the movie put on that safety that they have, that Antonio Holmes they just picked up? I'm sorry, Antonio Hamilton. Yeah. I mean, that's an Emmitt Smith little stutter step, hard cut right, where you just left him in the dust.
Well, you got no chance, Skip, because unless you playing in the box and be down there before he can put that move on you. But you're so worried about that Sammy Watkins and Mecole Hardman and Reek and Travis Kelce. So now we got to be on our heels worried about the pass, and the next thing you know, here's the guy running up on you.
Whoa. Okay. And by the way, speaking of Patrick Mahomes, he had an efficient night, but not a spectacular one. He threw for a grand total of 211. Does that knock your socks off? Okay. But he had a QBR of 90. Scale of 0 to 100 is very good because he was very efficient when he completes 24 of 32. That will work. He didn't do it. He threw no interceptions, and he threw 3 touchdown passes. Do you realize 30% of his career touchdown passes have come in the month of September? He always gets off hot, and he was hot last night. Now, my final takeaway from last night, can somebody please explain why your Kansas City Chiefs look like they were in midseason form, and Bill O'Brien's Texans look like they had just finished their first virtual OTA. Am I right?
Yeah.
One team looked really well coached and well prepared on both sides of the ball, and the other team looked like it wasn't sure what was happening, and they were trying to play their way into the RPM of the game.
Well, Skip, I think you're going to see more of teams looking like the Texans than probably the Chiefs.
You're probably right.
Because you got to think about it, Skip. There's not a whole lot of tackling, and there was no preseason game.
Nope.
So now, I mean, who are we? What are we? Do we really know? So you don't get an opportunity to see who can do what and how they're going to be, and the best way you can use them. Kansas City, with the exception of Lair, they know what they are. They know what they are. Everybody else is trying to figure this thing out. Like I said, I just don't think, you know, we're going to see. And I know it's the first game, so I don't want to put too much weight in a win or a loss in the first game. But the Chiefs look good, and the Texans, Deshaun looked good.
He always looks good.
Deshaun looked really good.
I tweeted late last night, I don't care how great the Chiefs look. I love watching Deshaun compete at quarterback because he competed all night long.
And Deshaun had 3 drops. Robinson dropped 3 passes, Skip. He dropped a touchdown in the end zone, 2. Which Travis Kelce ended up making. And he dropped dropped the pass on the sideline. So theoretically, Mahomes should have been 27 of 32.
Yep.
That's what he should have been.
Okay. I'll
with
buy
4
that.
touchdowns, and probably would have had a 95 QBR.
Okay, I will buy that. Do you realize your Kansas City Chiefs had 1 penalty for 5 yards in an opener in a pandemic with no preseason?
That's unheard of.
It's unheard of, and it is a tribute to Andy Reid. I got to tell you, that means you were well-schooled, well-drilled, like over-prepared for game 1, because I said midseason form, you look like you were in playoff form.
Right. Well, Skip, no one should have really jumped off sides because, I mean, I know they had fans in the stands, but it was so sparse, they were so spread out. I mean, you could hear. I mean, you should have been able to hear everything.
They had 16,000, which is not tiny, but
yeah, 16 in the stadium that holds 80.
All right, we'll get to them in just a second, but they had to start that kid, L'Jarius Sneed, at cornerback, a 4th-round pick out of Louisiana Tech, who did run 4.37. And it was clear from the start that Deshaun was going after him to fire test him. Yeah. And he stood up all night, and he did pick off the 1 interception that Deshaun threw. Right. And it's another one, bully for the Chiefs, Steve Spagnuolo. Their defensive unit looked even better than it did last year to my eye. It was flying. Chris Jones was flying.
Oh, yeah, Chris, yeah.
And they were all over Deshaun much of the night because I don't think Houston can protect him.
Well, that's the biggest thing, Skip. You cannot have your tight end give up a sack give up a hit to a safety on your quarterback. That cannot happen. Now, if he's trying to block Chris Jones, he's trying to block a defensive end or one of these elite-level pass-rushing linebackers, I get it. You got hell on your hand. But you cannot give up a hit that leads to an interception to a DB when you're a tight end and you're 6'3", 6'4", 250 pounds. That cannot happen.
Okay. So let's talk about what happened before the game started.
Yes.
And this is going to be played out before a lot of games this Sunday.
Yes.
How are you going to protest?
Right.
How are you going to remind everybody about the racial justice that should be top of mind in this country right here, right now?
Right.
We know what the NBA has been doing. Now it's the NFL's turn. You are on stage. Show what are you going to do? So last night, the Chiefs, by themselves, lined up about 30 minutes before kickoff or across their end zone line, their goal line. And they watched Alicia Keys perform Lift Every Voice and Sing, which is obviously considered the Black national anthem.
Correct.
And the Texans stayed in their locker room all the way up through the national anthem.
Correct.
You good with that?
I'm good with it.
Okay. That's one way to go.
Yep.
Okay. Then they came out after the national anthem, and they joined in a line. They joined the Chiefs in a line that spanned the field from goal line to goal line.
Correct.
Very impressive looking. It was reported, even the Associated Press story says, that you could hear boos.
You could.
Echo.
I heard it. Skip, I wanted to hear how it was going to be received, even after the PA said, let's join in unity. It's kind of like, Skip, let's bow our heads for a moment of silence, and somebody boos because you don't like the moment of silence in which you're bowing your head for. So what I'm starting to see, it wasn't about, Skip, it wasn't about the flag. It wasn't about the military. So even though we're saying we want unity, so you booing that people are trying to bring a close to racism and inequality, injustice. So you booing that. So in other words, you're telling me you for racism because the PA guy told you what it was. Join us in a moment of unity. No anthem.
Nope.
So I don't want to hear anything. Oh, so in other words, there's
that was no flag involved.
No flag involved.
Yep.
So in other words, Skip, there's never a right time in some people's mind for you to protest racism. It doesn't matter when. It doesn't matter how. Skip, you say, well, we want peaceful. Well, Dr. King, you can't get any more peaceful than Dr. King, and then you end up beating him and you killed him. Well, you can't get more peaceful than someone kneeling. And Skip, the PA, they joined arms. Skip, ain't nobody kneel. They joined arms, linked up, and you booed.
All the way.
All the way.
From goal line.
So in other words, Skip, you know what?
Yep.
Is what you're protesting, I like kind of the way it is. That's what you told me.
Okay. I am so with everything you just said, but just to be fair, I have listened back to the opening audio of that again and again, and I think I hear a few boos, but I'm not quite sure. 16,000 people, not a tiny, I mean, for a basketball crowd, that would be a
that's almost a sellout.
Okay, all right. But there was some cheering.
Yeah.
There was some like opening moment enthusiasm that you could hear growing in the crowd.
Right.
Neither coach said he could hear any boos, but J.J. Watt said, I was very disappointed in the booing.
Yes.
So I'm going to say that validates that he at least was hearing some booing.
I think the thing is, Coach is always trying to take the high road. They're always going to say, hey, I didn't hear anything. Because, they always go, but the players heard. Yeah. J.J. Watt is as all-American as it comes. J.J. Watt, Midwest, flag, hey, we know what he did when they had the big hurricane down in Houston.
Yep.
The money that he raised, he ended up winning Walter Payton Man of the Year. So I'm going to trust J.J. Watt, but I'm also going to trust my ears. Okay. I know what I heard.
I heard listen, I've faced this my whole career when I used to be a newspaper columnist on Deadline, and I was thinking, they booed or did they? Was it 5 people?
Right.
Or was it 2,500 people? I don't know.
For me, I don't care if it was 1.
Yeah,
I just want to know why you're booing.
Yep.
Because the PA told you why they were doing what they're doing. Said in unity. So what they're trying to do is bring attention to get equality and justice for all in America. And you boo that. So what they're trying to do is like, race A, no, we don't want you to do that here. So it's never the right time in some to end racism. To bring equality and justice for all. In some, like I said, it wasn't all 16,000, Skip. It never is. No. Just like all 16,000, when maybe 80,000, Skip, everybody doesn't stand at attention during the play of the national anthem before Colin Kaepernick. Yep. Some people go into the bathroom, hey, I got to get this last bathroom break. Some people go into concession. So I get it. Some people are just arriving to the stadium.
Yep.
So there's no such thing as all and every. But I'm saying there should have been none, Skip. Because if what you say is true, that you want equality and you want justice for all, and we need to change in America, why are you booing?
Because it's still out there. You know it, and I know it. You know it, and I know it.
Yes.
And it will be represented everywhere.
Yes.
There's going to be that segment that is going to say, boo, no.
Yeah. At least we know what the Miami Dolphins say, we're not coming out. Say, we tired of all this lip service and all this playing, these slogans and hashtags and all that. We staying in. Until we see some change, some real change, until we see powerful people in position of authority, reach across and say, hey, bro, I need you to do this filing for me.
Yep.
The people in Washington, we ain't coming out.
I thought maybe during the anthem, only Chiefs on the field. I thought more the Chiefs might kneel, which I'd been great with. I wouldn't have been surprised if all the Chiefs knew.
I only saw one, I think one.
One that was reported.
Right.
So I couldn't see the whole line exactly, but only one, and a couple of teammates had hands on shoulder pads of his. So that's going to be, as you say, roll is going to be taken before these games coming up on Sunday and Sunday night.
At least for the first couple of weeks.
That's right.
And then it'll just...
And roll will especially be taken on Sunday night out here at SoFi Stadium.
Yes.
The opening game, Cowboys Rams.
They looking at Jerry. They're going to be...
See where you are, Jerry. We're going to check your oil.
Yeah, I believe you'll definitely see more people kneel for the Cowboys than what you saw with Kansas City, because they've been waiting for this moment. Jerry had them scared for a second, there, Skip.
Yep.
And then they realized, like, hold on, he can't really do anything now because he going to catch criticism. He going to catch flack. So... let me go ahead and do it.
And it sounded like, though I never can quite interpret everything Jerry says, it sounds like he gave them the green light to do whatever they feel like doing.
He had no choice, Skip.
Yep.
Because the thing is that when you're all powerful and someone challenges you for that power, and that's what Jerry's like, he wants to think. I still, I'll let y'all do that. No, Jerry. They had already opened the gate. They had already opened it. They were getting ready to leave, and before you told them, okay, it's okay to go.
Yep.
They were gone. They were finna head out. But Kansas City look good, though, Skip. Hey, they look good.
They look good, but that's 1 down and 15 to go, and it's a long season.
I know. I'm going to see if somebody else going to look good about 4 o'clock, about 4:10, 4:15 on Sunday.
Sunday?
Yeah, I'm going to see if somebody else
that big game on Fox?
I'm just
that game that's at New Orleans?
Go, Drew Breezy.
Yep.
The Chiefs and Mahomes did look good, and you have to remember, this was their first real game action with no preseason. So...
Did he look like that?
No mercy.
our trending story, sponsored by the first ever Buick Encore GX. The Lakers took Game 4 and the 3-1 series lead over the Rockets last night, but not without a bit of a scare. Up by as much as 23 in the fourth, the Lakers allowed Houston to pull within 5 points at one point. The Lakers would hold on to win by 10 with Anthony Davis leading all scorers with 29. LeBron finished 16 points, 15 boards, and 9 assists, while Alex Caruso was the key coming off the bench for LA with 16 points. So, Shannon, are the Lakers that good, or are the Rockets that bad?
Whoa, the Rockets are bad? How the Rockets bad? Now the Rockets bad. You want to minimize us, but I won't let you do it. We were that good. We've been that good. Let me tell you what the Skip Bayless gave y'all a stat, people at home, that P.J. Tucker was the best defender of all defenders when guarding AD. That's what he told you.
I did not give that stat. It was out there. I didn't come up with it.
No, I know you didn't. No. You repeated it.
Okay, I repeated it.
Which makes you responsible.
Oh, I'm responsible.
Yes. 28, 13, and 4 on 62% shooting. Is that good? Let me tell you what P.J. Tucker has given you while trying to battle Anthony Davis. In the last 2 games, 3 points, 7 rebounds, playing about 35 minutes a game on 1 for 7 shooting. There's a difference between battling Steven Adams, who's offensively challenged, as opposed to battling Anthony Davis, who's skilled beyond skilled. That's a whole different ball game, Skip. And I don't know why you didn't see that. So here's the thing, okay? You score 20, you make 22 threes, you lose, you get 109. James Harden, Russell Westbrook go for 63. You get 100. You lose by double figures. Yesterday, you shoot 39 free throws, and you get 100 points. James Harden shot more free throws by himself than the entire Lakers as a team, and you got 100. I'm mad at LeBron. I ain't speaking to LeBron, because all he had to do was just, when they stole the ball, he passed the ball ahead to Rajon Rondo. Rondo laid up. We got a trip dub. We 14, 15, and 9. Instead, we ended up 16, 15, and 9. We'd have had a triple dub. With a 14, 15, and 10. It would have been a
cheap one with 16 total points.
How's that cheap?
Cheap? That's a Jason Kidd Memorial triple-double.
Hold on. First, it's a triple-double. Skip, I told you the problem that they were going to have. If they can't keep the rebounding close, the first game, what was it? It was even. I think 46-46 rebounding. And the turnovers, the Lakers turned it over. Now you look, the Lakers doubled them up in rebounding, 52-26, doubled them up in points in the paint. And the turnovers, it's over. I told you. I had 5 on it. Yeah, I had 5 on it. So you know, Saturday night, the lady, we already got the champagne. We ordered a ton of balloons, because it's over.
You're going to celebrate beating the Rockets?
Whoa. Now we're celebrating. Hold on, you said it was going 7. Yeah. Everybody talking the Rockets. See, this is what bothers Alex. This is what bothers me about people. First of all, it was Portland. Portland going to get I got Portland picked to beat them. Then James Harden. Oh, James Harden, Russ. Oh, we know what they can do. Now, you celebrating the Rockets? We celebrate now.
But tell me when it's my turn.
Your day coming, though. And you know when your day is.
Yeah, my day is Clipper Day here in L.A., Clipper Parade Day.
No, right? They haven't.
My turn. How can I take what happened last night seriously? I'm embarrassed we're even speaking about it, but we need to speak about it because it was so pathetic.
What happened?
On both sides. The Rockets clearly did not show up last night because their hearts and souls had been torn out because of the Daniel House controversy.
How you believe, Skip?
I told you, I first guessed this. He had become an integral part of who they are on offense and defense. And I'm going to once more read the quote from Mike D'Antoni of 3 days ago before Daniel House's bubble burst. And I still don't know exactly what happened, but we've heard all the theories about it. We got all kinds of conspiracy theories. I don't know what happened. I just know suddenly he was gone. And suddenly Mike D'Antoni was hot about it. And he said 3 days back, before any of this occurred, I think House is blossoming into one of the better players in the league. Can I repeat that? One of the better players in the league. He's playing with a lot of energy athletically, making great decisions on defense and offense.
Okay.
What did I tell you? 6'6", 220. He flies around on defense. He can help slow down LeBron. I'm not saying he can stop him, but he can help because he's big and strong enough to. And he can shoot threes and create havoc driving the basketball. He's one other piece to this puzzle. He might be the final piece of the puzzle. And the reason that I picked the Rockets to extend you to 7 games, and all of a sudden, Westbrook and Harden and others had to show up in the locker room ahead of Game 3 with the series tied 1-1 and hear, what? He did what? It was what? Just like everybody else was saying, and it tore the heart out of this team. What did Coach D'Antoni say after the game last night? We just didn't have any spirit. You could just see they were flat from the start. They were dead in the water flat.
You got 2 MVPs.
Yeah, and by the way, I'm glad you brought one of the MVPs up because here we go again with James Harden. This is a night when you just got to suck it up and pick it up and say, I got you. I'm going to keep us in the game. Can you tell me what his line was? How about 2 for 11?
Yeah.
How about 1 of 6 from 3?
Yeah.
Is this another vintage James Goes South games? Another playoff game where he disappears? Now, he got to the line like crazy, and he did make 16 of 20, and that's how he managed to score 21 points while making only 2 field goals.
I'm just trying to figure out how someone can go, how a person can go to the free throw line, Skip, 4 times more than an entire team.
He gets calls. He has earned those. I told you, he has earned those calls. He drives it. He gets to the basket. And I told you why he earns them, because he makes his free throws. Huh?
We 15 to 16. What, is that good? 15 to 16, is that good?
Well, your guy made 2 out of 3, which for him is pretty great, actually.
You know what?
Yeah, 2 out of 3, but 0 for 5 from 3.
Did you see that movie made, Skip?
I'm not finished talking about the Rockets.
Okay.
So I want everybody to understand what Daniel House had meant to this team in the previous round against the Thunder. Here are 3 of his games in the playoffs against the Thunder. 19 points and 9 rebounds, 15 points and 10 rebounds, 21 points and 6 rebounds. Integral to who they were. And all of a sudden, they're a shallow team to start with. They have no depth to speak of. And all of a sudden, they play 7 players, and it's down to 6. So what happened in the fourth quarter last night? Your team took the foot off its gas.
Yeah.
And what happened to the Rockets? Well, one Rocket, one superstar, you know what he's going to do. He's going to play his tail off until the bitter end. Russell Westbrook just kept firing and firing and firing. Did you see what he did in the fourth quarter? That's pretty good. He scored 10. He made 4 of 6 shots. He made 2 threes, 2 of 4 threes. Russell Westbrook, he would not stop trying. Austin Rivers would not stop trying. He kept fighting to the quote-unquote death. And McLemore came off the bench and made 3 out of 3 threes. And all of a sudden, guess what happened? Were you getting a little nervous, or were you watching your Kansas City Chiefs by then?
I got 2 TVs.
Yep.
And,
I got 2, and I was watching the Chiefs, and all of a sudden I glanced at the score, and I said, wait a second. The Rockets are back in this game. How could that be? And it comes down to a shot made by Caruso. He is finishing. He is closing games for you, and LeBron fed him in the corner. If we could see this, this is a big shot, man, because if it's a 5-point game. If you miss this 3, and James jumped out on him and got a hand in his face at least, nice feed. James was right there, almost put a Dort block on him. He was right there, and Caruso had to arc it a little higher than he wanted to, and it hit nothing but the bottom of the net.
Too late.
Yeah, and that was it. That made it 8. But if you miss that and they go down and hit a 3, all of a sudden you're looking at a 2-point teetering game with a bad free throw shooting team in the Lakers.
Look, we didn't take y'all serious. We took y'all.
I'm not y'all.
Y'all won a game.
Y'all is not me.
Yeah, no, but you was rooting. You thought we go. You thought what you was hoping is that the Rockets would take a pound of flesh. This thing would go out. You guys close it up. We be in a dogfight. But that's not going to happen.
I thought the dogfight would extend you to where you'd only get 1 day off before you had to play the Clippers, who would be resting.
But you know what I noticed, Skip? When we lost the first game against Portland, you didn't mention anything about Avery Bradley. You didn't mention anything about Rondo. We lost that game. We didn't mention anything about Avery Bradley. Now we're talking about Daniel House. Daniel House. That's what we're talking about, House.
Yeah, I just explained why.
No, Skip, stop it.
Blossoming into one of the better players in the league,
Skip,
said his coach.
Skip, what coach gonna say, nah, he ain't that good, he regressive? What did you expect him to say?
I expect you to say that was a joke last night because the Rockets came out as flat as you can come out.
What you want me to do about that?
And James Harden was asked after the game, how do you avoid coming out flat for, what are we up to, game 5? He said, have the intensity and the energy we played with in the fourth quarter. Well, it wasn't him playing with it. It was Westbrook and Austin Rivers and McLemore.
And guess what, Skip? 33 threes. You know, normally they were averaging 51.
They did a good job.
Against OKC?
Yep.
Now they're down into getting 30.
I'll give you this. The Lakers have the second best defense in the West. I will give you that. But you know and I know
and
what the lockdown squad is.
And what did I tell you was going to happen? And I told you this at the beginning. I said, Skip, I don't know if this is a series for JaVale and Dwight Howard. And what did old Frankie V? Watching the show, start Keith Morris.
Yep. I thought Lakers just do what Lakers do.
No, we do what we can. When we assemble this team, we put it together so we can play big or we can play small. That's what we do. We assemble a team. We're not one-dimensional. We're multifaceted. It's Saturday night.
Good. I agree. Goodbye. In fact, I'm not even sure the Rockets might be home now. They might have left the bubble. Yep. I think they just called it off. They said, we give up.
Oh, and the Nuggets going to stay in this thing tonight. Oh, Nugs!
Oh, do you want to get your cases back?
Oh, Nugs. Let me.
If you do, I'm good.
I don't know, because Michael Porter, he be speaking out of pocket.
Yeah, he's a little out of pocket.
He might have said something in practice.
He might have.
Got them all heated up.
Okay.
So we'll see. We'll see.
I say bring on the Clippers and the Lakers. I'm ready.
You know that's what we're waiting for.
Yep.
But I have to agree with Shannon on this. The Lakers are that good?
They're that good. They're them dudes.
We got to do it, but that Lakers-Clippers matchup is what everyone is waiting for. But let's move on to the NFL because Tom Brady is making his Bucs debut right here on Fox this Sunday against the Saints. Now, while the anticipation to see Brady is high, one anonymous league scout isn't so sure. The scout said, quote, why are people so high on them? Is this going to be like Jordan with the Wizards?
What?
So, Shannon, do you agree with this?
I do agree. I mean, Tom Brady is about to be 43 years old. There were signs
he is
43,
yes.
Excuse me. He is 43 years of age. And people saw signs, especially those that were objective and not have a vested interest. I expected Jason Light. I expected Bruce Arians. I expect the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and those affiliated with the Buccaneers to say Tom Brady looked like the Tom Brady of 8-9 years ago. That's what I expected them to say. But that's not the case. And everybody keeps talking about the receivers and how they let Tom down. Tom was, I opened the dictionary for the last 15 years. And when it said nobody does more with less, there was a picture of Tom Brady. And then all of a sudden, he couldn't do more with less. He couldn't elevate them. So if he can't elevate them, how is he the same if he can't elevate anyone?
Who should have been the 2 seed last year?
Whoa.
Well, how's that not elevate? I don't get what you're talking about.
Yep.
They had the 2 seed in the palms of their hands.
If I'm not mistaken, them losing the last game didn't knock them out of the playoffs.
But
they still had a home game.
Them, what, to the
third?
No,
the third seed. They were third.
Yeah, but they lost their week off.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, hold on. Jordan didn't need a week off. Jordan closed out the regular season and start a playoff game. That's what you tell me. Tom Brady's the GOAT. Now, see, when I tell you things like LeBron, he doesn't need that, yada, yada, yada. Now you making excuses for Tom. Are you making excuses?
We're not talking about Jordan in Washington here. We're talking about Jordan in Chicago. Yes.
No, This guy's making a comparison between Jordan going to Washington and Tom Brady going to Tampa.
And you're co-signing.
All I'm saying is, Skip, is that the notion is that all people can remember is what transpired. Now, the thing that Brady didn't take 3 years off. But people automatically assume, Skip, that Michael Jordan, even at his age, because he was Michael Jordan, he was going to take this team and they were going to go places. Just like people believe Tom Brady is going to take this team and they're going to go places. And this guy's like, well, hold on, wait a minute. He's 43. Yeah, he's Tom Brady and he's accomplished what he's accomplished. But let's not pretend that he's on the ascent, because he's not.
I just want to know, I got to get you on record. Did you just co-sign on the anonymous quote that said Tom Brady is going to be Michael Jordan with the Wizards?
You told me Michael Jordan was great with the Wizards.
I did not tell you that.
Oh, he wasn't great?
They averaged 20 and 6.
Okay.
Pretty good. He could just roll out of bed even at age 39 and average 20 and 6 is what he did.
Because you know what's going to happen, Skip? And because of what he's accomplished, he was still Michael Jordan. So Tom Brady can be average, and because of what he's accomplished, he's still Tom Brady.
Okay, so I got to get you on record.
Yeah.
Is he going to be Jordan in Washington?
He's not going to be Tom Brady of New England. How about that?
Okay, well, Jordan wasn't Jordan of Chicago when he went to the Wizards.
Okay, but that was the
Okay.
expectations, though.
All right, here we go. Obviously, I'm the biggest Michael Jordan fan on the planet. I'm also a huge Tom Brady fan because one is the GOAT of all sports of all time, and the other is the GOAT quarterback of the National Football League. So never the twain shall meet at the end of their careers because it's apples to rotten oranges. When Jordan goes to Washington, you just touched and went on that one point. He had taken 3 years off. He had retired.
Yeah.
And he retired on principle because his coach, Phil Jackson, got pushed out the back door by Jerry Krause in Chicago. And he said, okay, if he goes, I am gone.
Right.
And he was gone for 3 long years.
Yeah.
And I will give you this. Your man, LeBron James, is 100 times more fit than Michael was late in his career because Michael didn't really fixate at that point in his career. In the 3 years off,
Right.
he did not stay in supreme condition.
No.
The great Tim Grover had him in supreme condition in 1998 to close The Last Dance.
Right.
We know that.
Yeah.
But once we left that, he's smoking cigars, he's playing golf, he's doing a little tipping,
Yeah.
just a little tipping.
Yeah, yeah.
And he didn't look the same when he came back
No.
for the Wizards.
Yeah.
So what happened going into that year? What did the odds makers make the Wizards? Were they like the second or third choice to win the NBA title? No. They had the 14th best odds. They were way down tied with the T-Wolves and the Clippers. 14th best odds to win the championship that year. So are you telling me there were anywhere near the expectations that the orange guy has right now? The guy in pewter?
Yeah.
Is there anywhere near?
No.
Well, some people believe that team, Brady's new team, can win the NFC this year. The expectations are far higher than they were for Jordan's age 38 Wizards. Far higher.
You and the Brady disciples believe that he has a realistic chance of winning the
Well,
Super Bowl.
I think a lot of analysts have said that. They give them a shot. Some people are picking them to win the division over a Saints team that a lot of people think will win the NFC and get to the Super Bowl. You've got that as your pick.
Yep.
What happened to Jordan's Wizards in his first year in Washington? They went 37-45. They were 8 games under 500. So are you predicting that Tom Brady's team will be sub 500 this year?
Skip, you got to realize.
Well, you just said he's
Hold on.
going to be Jordan in Washington.
But here's the thing. You play 16 football games, you play 82 basketball games. So basically that's 5. So for everyone is 5 football games.
Okay.
So what am I saying? Do I
Well,
believe?
just say sub 500. Will they be a 7-9 team?
no,
They were
just-
7-9 last year with Jameis.
No, they 9-7. I think I said 9-7, 10-6.
Okay, so you have them above 500,
Yeah.
10-6.
Yeah.
You keep qualifying.
No. I said 9-7, 10-6. I've always said that.
Which is it?
9-7, 10-6.
Which is it? 10-6?
9-7, 10-6.
Okay.
Right there.
Okay. Nobody.
Because I think, hold on. What did Fox bet? Fox bet got to be like 9.1 wins.
I don't care what Fox Bet has. I only know that I think they're going to win the NFC this year. So Jordan continues to play a second year with the Wizards. Once again, the odds makers going into his second season there where he added a little more talent because they had Stackhouse the second year. Pretty good. He had at least the second score. The first year, it was Michael and Rip Hamilton. And that's really all. Chris Whitney was the third scorer on that team. You love that? I don't. And Kwame Brown, Michael's pick, was a rookie that year. You love that? I don't love that.
Okay.
Second year, they had Jerry Stackhouse, who averaged 22 a game that year. Michael averaged, I told you, 20 and 6 rebounds.
Right.
The odds makers had them with the 14th best odds, and they went, oh, wait a second, it's the same record, 37-45. 8 games under 500 both of his last 2 years in Washington. And I will be the first to tell you, and I've said this on the air, I did not love watching it. It was a little bit hard on my eyes because couldn't quite remember that guy in Chicago in 1998.
He couldn't elevate like he was.
He couldn't elevate. He gained a couple of pounds, and he just didn't look in the supreme shape that he was in Chicago.
Right.
Okay, but he had earned the right, if he wants to go have two, if you want to call them ceremonial career-ending years in Washington. Good for you. And I co-signed on that, but I never thought in my wildest dreams that they would even be a playoff team. And they weren't. So don't compare that to that, because Tom Brady simply has the best group of receivers, tight ends, and wideouts he's ever had in his career. Can you make that case for Michael Jordan, who, you know, again, Jerry Stackhouse and Larry Hughes his second year? Really?
I think the thing is, Skip, is that because this was Michael Jordan, and because he had taken what people would say, because you said Scottie Pippen is not a top 50 player, Dennis Rodman, and all these guys, and he had taken them basically, with the exception of Scottie, to six finals and won them all. He should be able to do that because that was him. He just made everybody better. Remember all those speeches and that motivation and those practices that he did? So he should have been able to just do that. Well, Tom Brady, if he's what you said, he should be able to have the same success in Tampa as he had in New England.
He will. I got it. Okay. Well, look at what he's got. He's got a top 10 defense. He added Leonard Fournette and LaShawn McCoy to the offense. Again, I wanted him to have Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I pushed for that before the draft. But minus that, if you get those two guys, I'm pretty good.
So in other words, it's going to be more about the ingredient than the chef.
Well, quarterback's the hardest position to play in sports.
No. We ain't talking about that hard. So now, all of a sudden, the dude that was carrying people, now it's flipped. They're going to be carrying him. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not saying that. Are you suggesting he's going to be a game manager this year?
I'm just asking you a simple question, because you just keep talking about that talent. Oh, he got so much talent. Tom Brady's job is to make people better. Who is he going to make better? Mike Evans is a made man. Chris Godwin was made before he got there. So who is he making better?
Scotty Miller. I first guessed it. You watch what happens. Edelman, Amendola, except with a little more burst. A little more burst. He's just a little quicker and a little faster.
So would Julian Edelman have a worse or a better year this year than last year?
Well, I hope he has a little better. He was a wreck last year.
I don't know, but
he led the league in drops last year. He was a broken down, beat up shell of himself. He needed shoulder surgery. He had cracked ribs. He had a bum knee.
And why is that?
And he was the number one
receiver. Who was his quarterback? His quarterback was throwing him into danger.
So it's his fault.
Yeah, whoa, wait a second. Now what I'm seeing, so somebody that has a 19th QBR, a 27th in completion percentage, 27th in yards per attempt, we're going to put that on the receivers.
Wait a second. Pro Football Focus said worst separation in the league were the Patriots receivers as a whole.
Well, Skip.
Was there a Gronk left? Nope. Skip. Is there a Gronk back in Tampa? Yes.
Yeah. Well, hold on. Wait a minute. If Pro Football Focus is saying that, 27th, there's only 32 teams. There's only 32 quarterbacks. He was 27th. He was 27th in yards per attempt. He was 19th in QBR. So how good was Tom Brady? You make it seem like Tom Brady was top 5 and the receiver was bottom 32.
And despite all of the above, he had them in position to be the second best team in the AFC in the playoffs. The two said, I'm not seeing, I'm telling.
Yeah, you see what you did?
I didn't do anything.
You see?
I spat a fact at you.
Hold on. It was he. See, when things go good, it's he. When things go bad, it's Julian Edelman. It's N'Keal Harry.
Who was the quarterback on the game, or should have been the game-winning drive against the Dolphins, who now revisit the scene of the crime? They're back Sunday at Foxborough, this time against Cam. Those same Dolphins, without a lot of new players on defense, those same Dolphins went up to Foxborough, and they gave up a game-winning drive, 60 yards to Tom Brady, as usual, right on schedule, and Tom puts them up 24-20 with a touchdown pass to little James White. As always, as usual, business as usual. And there are 3 minutes left in the game, and Ryan Fitzpatrick, who is still the starting quarterback of the Dolphins, drove the Dolphins, and you will not touch this because you have no answer to it. He drove them 75 yards in 13 plays against Belichick's defense, including a 5-yard pass to Gesicki, the tight end. to win the game 27-24. They couldn't kick a field goal. They had to score a touchdown, and they did. And Tom Brady's another great achievement got canceled by Belichick's defense, and you will not accept that. How do you defend that? Can you?
There's no defense. Ryan Fitzpatrick had a hot hand. Devontae Parker was played unbelievable that day. But are we going to gloss over the fact that Tom Brady threw a pick six? That happened, right?
And
Coach Belichick says, I got to overcome that.
He overcame.
Skip, first of all, you got to do real. And I was telling you this all year. Skip, what happens if the Patriots defense doesn't get pick sixes or scooping scores? What happened when Tom Brady's got to do? And what happened in Tennessee? Coach Belichick pitched a shutout in the second half. Can you tell the people at home how many points Tom Brady put on the board in his final home playoff game? What did he do? His last pass he ever threw in a Patriots uniform. Can you tell the people where did it go?
They ran into a buzzsaw, which was on its way to Baltimore to knock out the 1 seed.
You got nothing.
That's how good they were.
Hold on. Are you comparing Lamar Jackson to Tom Brady?
Well, he was the MVP last year.
Hold on. Now, see what you did there? Now, I know a lot of guys that won MVPs, but you tell me he the GOAT. The GOAT should not worry about buzzsaw. The GOAT should be so tough a buzzsaw can't go through it. So what are you talking about? I'm confused. The GOAT with 6 Super Bowls, a 3-time league MVP, 4 Super Bowl MVPs, and he ran into a buzzsaw? Ryan Tannehill?
And now he is a buzzsaw in Tampa or Tampa Bay.
No.
And you're going to have a long year sitting in that chair. A long year, because that team is going to win the NFC.
He's going along for a great ride. That's what he's going along for.
Okay, I'll give you that. He's on the shoulders. I'll give you that.
He ain't doing no carrying.
If that's what you want to try to dismiss that as, it's going to be a great ride.
Skip, what you mean? I dismiss it. It's facts.
I got you.
No, you don't.
No mercy.
Pro Football Focus said they viewed the Cowboys as one of the 3 most underrated teams this season. The article said Dallas was a legit Super Bowl threat because they now have one of the best play callers in Mike McCarthy, the best receiving unit in the league, and Dak, who they dubbed as the 2nd most valuable quarterback based on last season. So, Shannon, do you have a problem with this?
Yes. How they underrated. Every year we hear about how much talent they have. They've always had talent. The Cowboys, people make it seem like the Cowboys just all of a sudden. Skip, they used to have T.O., they had Tony Romo, they had Jason Witten in his prime, they had Marion Barber, they had DeMarco Murray, they had Leonard Davis, they had Hotel Adams. They had DeMarcus Ware. They had Roy Williams, who was an all-pro, Pro Bowl safety. Greg Ellis. They've always had talent.
And this offensive line has young players?
Yes. When they had DeMarco Murray, who was Offensive Player of the Year, who rushed for over 1,800 yards. Dez Bryant in his prime. Jason Witten. This offensive line, as you mentioned, in their absolute apex. And now all of a sudden, and all I've heard about, Skip, Dak is got the 3rd or 4th best odds to win the MVP. They said
I've seen it as high as 3rd.
Yes. Okay, you took CeeDee Lamb. Everybody's been raving about CeeDee Lamb.
Well, I have.
No, even Skip, everybody's talking about, he's pretty soon. I mean, he just makes it look so good. I mean, Amari's Amari, but CeeDee Lamb has been unbelievable. I mean, I'm confused with this. The Cowboys, people have been picking the Cowboys to get to the Super Bowl. Skip, you can't get picked to get to the Super Bowl and be underrated. That's ridiculous. And that's ridiculous. And I just can't get it. Skip, nobody. How can the Cowboys ever be underrated, Skip? Everybody talk about them. Look, I think I just read yesterday, Skip, they're worth $5.7 billion. 5.7, that's with a B. That's what they're valued at. And who's on Sunday, Skip? Sunday night. Who's on Sunday night? The highest generated game of the 10 highest generated games, 5 of them every year have who, Skip? The Cowboys in it. So how are they underrated? What are we missing?
They're opening a new stadium out here that's actually worth even more than Jerry's yacht, right?
It's double what Jerry paid for his playpen, who was state of the art, but they say this is right. When they say state of the art.
You got it.
You don't believe they're underrated. No, they are not. Skip, this oh my goodness. They're so ridiculous with this. And you know it too.
In my heart of hearts, I do know it.
Exactly.
You got me on this one. And yet, this year is so weird, so strange, so utterly unpredictable.
Yeah.
That I hark back to last night, what we saw. One team didn't look in midseason form, the Chiefs, that they looked in playoff form, and the other team looked like they were in virtual OTAs. Mm-hmm. I think we're going to see a lot of that, but you made the point earlier, we're probably going to see more of the latter.
Right.
So how do I know what I'm going to see Sunday night? I'll be the first to tell you I do not.
Skip, nobody knows.
But I will tell you this. The odds makers fear my team because my team, the Dallas Cowboys, America's team on Sunday Night Football, is a 3-point favorite at SoFi against a Rams team that just 2 years ago obviously was in the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Did they have that Super Bowl letdown or hangover or whatever? Yes, they did last year. Mm-hmm. They were pretty good last year. They came close to making the playoffs last year, but they faded down the stretch and they did not. So do I think my team's better than the Rams? I do. Do I want to believe in my deep, like in my soul, that they're being a little bit underrated because there's a lot of firepower here and a lot of new firepower on defense? I do. But the point, to your point, that Pro Football Focus is suddenly calling my quarterback last year the second most valuable quarterback. He went 8-8.
Thank you.
How can you say that? Even I can't say that. In my wildest daydreams, I can't think of him as the second most valuable quarterback last year because I don't know how many times we talked about it. You gave him 7 Fs in his last 13 starts last year. And a couple of them, he deserved.
Yes.
He was not great down the stretch last year, especially at New England and at Chicago and against Buffalo on Thanksgiving and then at Eagles. It was the closeout game, one way or the other, sink or swim, rise or shine, and they fell on their face. He had a banged-up shoulder, but I can't give him that pass and that excuse. He just wasn't very good. And remember, he missed Tavon Austin, who'd broken wide open on a throw that could have maybe tied the game if they had made a two-point conversion.
Right.
Okay, so we got that going on, and then I read, there's another anonymous quote, we're going to get to this a little later, but it adds up all the bad things that have gone wrong since July. Okay, Dak doesn't have a contract. Is he going to have even more pressure this year to go play for a contract, show Jerry? Yeah, he will. Am I a little nervous about that? Yeah, I thought he started pressing down the stretch about the contract. Then Gerald McCoy, gone for the year. I thought he was going to be the new pillar, anchor, and leader of the defense, and he's gone. Yep. And then Randy Gregory might or might not be. He's reinstated, but he can't play. I mean, he can start practice October 5th, and then he can play, a couple of weeks later? I think it's like 8 games in. Okay. Can I count? No, I can't count on that. Sean Lee is hurt again. Okay. How many times? I don't know. They still cling to Sean Lee as a leader and captain of the defense, but he's always hurt. And then Travis Frederick is obviously retired, not great. And then Lyle Collins, who was their best offensive lineman, graded out the best across the board, is gone for 4 weeks. Cam Irving is their backup there, and this anonymous quote just rips him. Did you watch the Chiefs film last year?
Yeah.
Okay, he was shaky.
He's not very good.
Okay, so I got all that. But, you know, I first guessed C.D. Lamb. I'm a believer in C.D. Lamb. Right. And I think he's going to detonate the offense. I think they well could have 3,000-yard receivers. Okay. But now the downside, the reason my emotions are so mixed on this day, I'm already hearing Amari, for weird reasons, missing a lot of practice. Right. I don't know why. But, I mean, I saw, Clarence Hill Jr., I followed him, and he said he should be good to go. Okay, but he's been missing a bunch of practice. Is he pouty over CD's getting all the shine? Maybe. How you pouty? You just got $60 million. He got 20 a year. Yeah, $60 million guaranteed. You pouting about what? He can be a little sensitive. Man, look here. People, Skip,
I used to go through this all the time. It's like, man, you don't get upset. I mean, you caught 3 passes. You had a big week last week, and then Ed and Rod. I said, I got paid. I say, I go up there every week and get my check. I said, man, I ain't complaining about
the other issue is you got dubbed.
Yeah.
You kept dubbing all the way home.
Like, come on. I said,
you got 3 Super Bowl rings and 3 tries. That'll work.
Skip.
That'll make you sit through those 3 catch games, right?
Skip, did I not want to catch the ball? Sure.
Yeah.
But as I was going to practice, I saw how hard Ron Smith was working.
Okay.
And Ed McCaffrey was working. And they wanted to catch the ball, too.
Okay. So, what are my biggest positives right here, right now? There's no more Jason Garrett, no more old 8-8 JG, right? I got Mike McCarthy, a made man. It was long ago, but he did coach the Green Bay Packers and Brett Favre, and coach Brett Favre and then Aaron Rodgers, obviously. But Aaron Rodgers to that one and only Super Bowl. Is he a good coach? Yeah, I think he's a good coach.
I think so too. Yeah.
He used to be regarded as one of the top play callers, if not the best in the league, but. No, he's not going to call the plays, okay?
And Skip, I mean, think about what you added Alden Smith, and everybody's like, oh, he's been a monster at practice. Trayvon Diggs says he's getting his hands on the ball.
Kid from Alabama.
Yeah, like Byron Jones couldn't. Neville Gallimore, you like him, Don Terry Poe. So I'm just trying to figure, Skip, how they being underrated?
If it all clicks, if it falls into place, if Lyle Collins comes back on time and can be Lyle Collins again, they could be really good. So I look down the schedule. If they can win Sunday night, I think they will. We're going to go into a deep prediction in a little bit. But then they get Atlanta at home. They have to go to Seattle. I got that a loss. But then they get Browns, Giants at home, Cardinals at home. They have 3 home games.
Right.
They get Washington away, but I think they can win away at Washington. So now that sets up the big at Eagles, which would be November 1st. They could be real good. They could maybe only have one loss.
What's real good?
Well, just
what's
one
real
loss.
good?
I'll give them the one loss at
6-2. Oh, they gonna be what? 6, 7, and 2.
How many would that be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 1 going into right? Yeah, 6 and 1.
No, they're gonna be 6 and 1, huh?
Yeah.
You
okay?
want me to do all that?
No, I'm just telling you, my hopes run amok. And what did I tell you? I'm trying to govern my emotions because a year ago today, I went out of my mind over the cliff and I said they're going to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
And I loved it and I believed it. I believed it all off season. But the truth is, as much as I see a possibility here, I'm not going to jinx it.
You know what,
I'm not.
And you know what will happen? You will change your tune. They'll come out there, look good on Sunday night. And you'll come in here and you'll look at your camera. How about that, Cowboy? I feel good about my prediction.
You hate that. Okay, but what happened last year, they opened at home against the Giants. And then they went to Washington.
Yes.
And then they got the Dolphins at home when they were really bad.
Yeah.
Okay? And you kept saying garbage, garbage, garbage.
Yeah.
And you know what? You were correct, sir. And yet, I was doing a dance over here, and I was, Cowboys.
Yes.
Okay? This year at Rams, that's not a gimme, right? Falcons at home, I don't think that's a gimme.
No.
At Seahawks, that's definitely not a gimme.
Seahawks going to be good.
Okay? So they have a legitimate opposition to start the year.
Yeah.
The first 3 is legit. So here we go. Yeah, if they go handle the Rams on Sunday night.
I'm just trying to figure out how the Cowboys are underrated when all those firepower, Skip. They got, wasn't they number 2 as far as receivers behind Tampa? They had like a top 3 receiver core. They had a top 5 running back.
I think Pro Football Focus now ranks them number 1. Right. And CeeDee Lamb has played exactly 0 downs in the National
So you got a top 5 offensive line, top 5 receiving core, top 5 running back. Pro Football Focus had Dak as a top 5 quarterback.
And remember, I got a real kicker from the Rams. I got a real kicker, Greg DeLay, right? I had the worst kicker in football, Brett the Fret last year.
And you underrated. I'm confused by that.
I'm just going to be low-key over here, and I'm going to say it's going to be okay. That's all.
That's all right.
Yeah.
I'll be here Monday. Have a lot to celebrate. You know, I like celebrating on Mondays.
Yeah, you get to celebrate enough on this show.
No mercy.
Now, the Lakers took Game 4 and the 3-1 series lead over the Rockets last night, but not without a bit of a scare. Up by as much as 23 in the fourth, the Lakers allowed Houston to pull within 5 points at one point. The Lakers would hold on to win by 10, with Anthony Davis leading all scorers at 29. The Lakers and Clippers are now each a game away from meeting in the conference final. We are joined now by Fox Sports NBA analyst Chris Broussard. And Chris, was there anything that you saw last night that changed your opinion about the potential Clippers-Lakers matchup?
Well, look, I know the rules of this game, guys. You cannot have it both ways. And I'm not trying to have it both ways, but I'm just going to be honest. The Lakers look fantastic. I put no stock in their little mid or late fourth quarter swoon where they let their foot off the gas, because the Clippers have entire games where they let their foot off the gas. So I'm not concerned about that with the Lakers. And I have to be honest, right now, I think that the Lakers are playing better basketball than the Clippers. LeBron James obviously is at the top of his game. I know last night he only scored, 16?
Yep.
But he's playing great. Anthony Davis, you can mark him down for 26 and 10. I still have questions about what he's going to do in the big moments in the fourth quarter of big games, but he's going to get you at least 26 and 10. I can't say that about Paul George. Then you got playoff Rondo, who seems to be hanging around, and one or two of the other Lakers, whether it's Kuzma, Alex Caruso, Markieff Morris, somebody else, Danny Green or KCP, is stepping up, hitting pretty big shots, and being a pretty good third or fourth player on any given night. So the Lakers look great. But all that said, I am sticking with my pick of the Clippers over the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals. I think the Clippers are tougher. The Clippers are deeper. And I think the Clippers are more comfortable in the role of the hunter rather than the hunted. And next series with the Lakers, they will be back in the role of the hunter. They've been the hunted all year. They've been the hunted in these first two playoff rounds. But they will be the hunter in the conference finals. And I think they're comfortable there. I also think, look, the Clippers have better closers. Kawhi Leonard's arguably the top closer right now. I don't care what the stats necessarily say, although they can be made to look favorable for him. But with that mid-range game, that is gold at the end of a game, where you know if you get to a few spots on the floor, you're going to hit 65% of those shots. And the only player I've seen stop him is LeBron, but can LeBron do that 4 to 7 games? So I like Kawhi, and then you got Lou, obviously, who can close, and even Paul George. So I went into this week, Clippers 55%, Lakers 45% in the conference finals. The only thing that's changed for me based off last night is I'll go Clippers 52, Lakers 48. It's going to be 7 games, but I'm still with the Clippers.
Well, for me, I'm looking at the Lakers' defense and what they've been able to do to James Harden and Russell Westbrook. Over the last 3 games, they've held them to 103 points, which is 14 fewer than what they normally get in the regular season. AD and LeBron are doing what we thought they would do. That was dominate. And could we get, because we don't have a definitive third guy, so could we get a contribution from Kuzma one night, Caruso another night, Keith Morris another night? Could we get somebody that, man, Frankie B was feeling so good last night, Chris. He threw out that Horton Tucker.
What was that
about? He threw out Horton Tucker.
That's how little respect he has for the Houston Rockets.
Yes.
He threw out Horton Tucker.
Horton gives a hoot. That's who he put him out. I think that.
Did you read that?
I did.
Did you read Dr. Zeus?
Once upon a time. Once upon a time.
Really?
I said Frankie B.
Wait. In rural South Georgia, you're reading Dr. Zeus? I just got to know.
Get me out of the library?
I know, but I'm impressed. I love it.
When you in elementary school, they forced you to go to the library.
Okay, I got it. Go ahead.
Because it wasn't on my recommended list.
Horton, here's a who. Go ahead.
And that's what happens. They're just too small. And when P.J. Tucker has to guard Anthony Davis, who's a skilled big man, you know, AD and Steven Adams are 2 different animals, Chris. I mean, one guy, yeah, he's a big guy. You try to keep him off the board, but you're not worried about him offensively. If he gives you 10, you're like, okay, wow, Steven Adams had a nice game. You got to start trying to stop Anthony Davis from getting 30 and 15. So now it's taking so much out of P.J. on the defensive end, he can give you nothing on the offensive end because his legs are done. trying to battle and scramble. And so for me, I love what I see, and I agree with you. The Lakers just got complacent. They started turning the ball over, and then all of a sudden they started just, jacking up the ball 18 seconds into the shot clock. I'm not worried about this. I love what I'm seeing. We ready. We ready.
Yep. Okay. I have to ask my friend Chris Broussard. It sounds to me like, Mr. Broussard, your eye test is telling you to flip your pick to the Lakers. That's what you went all the way to the edge of that cliff and you would not jump over it, and you dropped it to 52. He looked over. He was peering down into what could be disaster, but he finally said, no, I better stick with my pick. So, Chris, I will give you one last chance here, one last opportunity. Would you like to go ahead and pick the Lakers?
I do believe in take integrity, Skip. And I've been with the Clippers for months now.
You have.
I'm going to stick with them. The Lakers look great. You're right. I looked over the cliff. I peered. I took a little step. But I'm going to stick with the Clippers.
Okay. This is why you're right to stick with the Clippers. I put zero stock in what I saw from the Lakers in the last 2 games, in large part because the Rockets got housed. Once Daniel House's bubble burst, their bubble burst, and they weren't the same team anymore. It rocked them psychologically. As Shannon always says, you're only as strong as your weakest link, and he was their weakest link. It sounded like Tyson Chandler was in there for a while, too, but I don't know what happened. House is gone. They got housed. They came out, especially last night, looking defeated, looking dead in the water, looking dead-headed, looking as flat as Florida. I was stunned at how flat the Rockets looked to start the game. 2 players especially, a guy I admire so much, a man who competes so hard, especially on defense, is P.J. Tucker. He just wasn't there last night. Look at the numbers. Are you 0 for 4 and 0 for 2 from 3? He wasn't even taking shots. And Covington, after he got his nose busted, look, he didn't show up last night. 1 of 2? Really? He made 1 of 2 shots. He made 1 3. And how about James Harden? Another big blemish on the playoff resume. Here we go again. 2 of 11, 1 of 6 from 3. Come on, James. This was your night to at least put up a fight. There were 3 Rockets who in the end kept fighting, and one of them is one of the co-stars. And we all know what Russell Westbrook's going to do. He might Westbrook. He might throw it in the 15th row much of the time. But when it is time to keep fighting in the 4th quarter, will he not fight his tail off? Yeah. And he makes 4 of 6 shots in the 4th quarter and 2 threes. And God bless Austin Rivers. He came in and just fought for his father. Because his father taught him to fight. He fought it all the way home. He made some shots. McLemore made 3 threes. And they hung in. And it took your man Caruso. It's the Caruso. They're letting him close. Yeah. I'm shocked by that. And he had to hit a 3 that had to keep them above water because it was a 5-point game, and James jumped out on him and got a Dort Memorial hand up on him but couldn't get the ball, and Caruso had to shoot it higher than he wanted to arc it, and did he not just rain it in? It hit nothing but the bottom of the net, and that kept you from some humiliation.
And he held that Cobra pose. Hey, Chris, you see him hold that Cobra pose? He's like, hey, it's good.
Is he that good?
Yeah.
He's like a mini Braun now? Is that what he is?
Yes. We got LeBron and Caruso got the highest plus minus of any 2 players in the NBA.
Okay, good. Let's see if you take that to the Clippers bank.
Here we go.
Okay, and my final point is there's one man on your team who scares me. He scares me to death, and it's playoff Rondo.
Rondo do it.
Look at the numbers he put up last night. I know it's not a big deal, but...
He almost got a triple-double.
He almost got a triple-double last night. Rondo? Are you kidding me? He had... What is
11, 10, and 8.
11, 10, and 8? Rondo? Yep. It was like the quietest 11, 10, and 8 you will ever see.
In less than 30 minutes.
What are you doing?
Rondo, and he drained 3. You see Rondo let them 3s go. I said, let him go, Rondo, let him go.
So he takes over the 4th quarter of game 3, pivotal, because it's 1-1.
Yep.
And then he basically quietly dominated the game last night. He scares me. The mitigating factor is the Clippers have a Rondo, and his name is Patrick Beverley. I know they're not exactly the same, but they bring the same kind of toughness, edge, and energy.
But Lou hadn't really, since he's gotten back in the bubble, Lou still hadn't had one of those breakout games yet. So Trez is fine. Trez is gaining traction. Trez is starting to run the floor, dunking on people, blocking shots. He's starting to look like the Trez that won Sixth Man of the Year. So he's getting back. But Lou hadn't hit his rhythm yet. So that's a little concerning, but we got something for him.
All right, Lou is shooting 9%, I believe, from three in the last 6 games. So, yeah, that's a problem. But look, Skip, I got to give the Lakers defense some credit
I agree.
for what they've done to the Rockets, too.
I buy that.
They're running them off. They're getting up on them on the perimeter and making them kind of run off the three-point line.
Yep.
So you see they're taking like half as many threes as they really want to. And if you stop the Rockets from taking threes, they're done. So I give the Lakers credit, but like I said, I'm sticking with the Clippers. I think they're gonna take it to another level when they see the Lakers.
I agree. One final point. While Lemon Pepper Lou is shooting 9% from three over the last 6 games, LeBron James last night shot 0% from three, as in 0 for 5. Just for the record, I just wanted to remark on that.
That's all right.
Thank you.
We good. We done put our thumbprint on this series. It's over for you.
No mercy.
Cam Newton said his excitement level is, quote, on 1,000 about making his Patriots debut on Sunday night against the Dolphins. Now, according to Fox Bet, Cam has the second best odds of winning Comeback Player of the Year at plus 400. So, Shannon, who wins this game and what is Cam's stat line?
I'm trying to figure out who has the best chance to come. I guess Roethlisberger. I guess Roethlisberger has the best chance of winning it. Yeah. So we go. Skip, I'm taking the Patriots. I think Cam will play well. I think his stat line will be something probably like 250 yards passing, maybe 50 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns passing, 1 rushing. The Patriots defense is young. They're athletic. But, the thing with Coach Belichick is really never had, with the exception of Chandler Jones in a very long time, is a guy that he can just line up and says, okay, go get the quarterback. Everything, Skip, is scheme, and he try to fool you a lot. And they got guys, the guys are going to be where they're supposed to be. That's one thing. They're not going to get beat deep. They're not going to give you anything cheap. They're going to make you nickel and dime your way down the field because Coach Belichick is one of those guys that believe that it's more likely that you would turn the ball over if you got to go 12, 14, 15 plays to get a touchdown, as opposed to I let you hit me with the big strike over the top. So I'm going to make you earn a touchdown as opposed to giving you something cheap and deep. So for me, I'm going to take Coach Belichick. I'm anxious to see what Cam actually looks like because it's been a long time since we've seen him on the field, but I expect him to play well. And the last time, and my guy Bump Run Gilmore, now he owed Devontae Parker. He got him last time. That was his worst game of the season. He got it.
Yep.
I expect a return. He might have one of them old gold cleats, the 99. Those guys, they got the grade 99. They got some special gold cleats.
I got it.
He might have those on. I'm taking the Pats.
Okay.
By a tub.
I have thought about this game. And I'll be honest with you, I just decided as you were speaking what I think of this game this Sunday. I think Miami is going to win this game. And I may be picking with heart over head
here. Because you want them to do bad.
I feel a certain type of way about how Bill Belichick treated Tom Brady, not for the last 2 years, for 3 long years. It really irritates me. It was so wrong to treat the GOAT that way.
You let your heart get involved, Skip.
Okay,
what did your head say?
I root for Cam, too. I like Cam. But I just think he's in the wrong place at the wrong time. So now my head's going to speak to you. Do you realize what the Dolphins did down the stretch last year?
Yeah.
They won 5 of their last 9. That you remember when they knocked off the Eagles at home. They won their last 2. They beat the Jets. They won at the Colts. Then they beat the Eagles. They beat the Bengals at home. No big deal. But then they won at New England. So they just did it to end last year, and now they go back to the scene of the New England crime, and here they come again. Brian Flores learned how to coach under Bill Belichick. Okay? Does he know how to beat Belichick? Does he know what to expect from Belichick? Well, sure he does.
Yeah.
Have disciples done that well against Belichick? No. But he did win this game last year. I love Brian Flores. Every time I watch him speak, I say, that man is a commanding officer.
He can command the room.
Right? Can't you just feel it from him? Don't you just get it through the TV?
Yes, you do.
Okay, what did they do in the offseason? They added my guy, Byron Jones from Dallas. Again, he doesn't intercept, but he can cover like crazy. Maybe not Gilmore cover, but he's pretty good. Yeah. And he got a ton of money. Who else is there now? Kyle Van Noy from the Patriots. Landon Roberts last year with the Patriots. Eric Rowe once with the Patriots. Ted Karras is now the starting center on offense, who was the Patriots starting center last year. Interesting. So now they go in and they play a defense that had a mass exodus. Those guys I just talked about, plus Hightower opted out. Chung opted out. All of a sudden, I'm saying there's no more Jamie Collins, and wait a second, there's no Danny Shelton, there's no Deron Harmon. Again, I know they still have talent, especially in the secondary, but the front seven is rebuilt.
Yes.
Is he a great coach? Yes, he's a great coach. So this is a coaching Sunday where coaching will prevail more often than not because you didn't play any preseason games. No. So last night, Andy Reid prevailed. That game last night boiled down to Andy Reid over Bill O'Brien. Andy had his team ready. Bill O'Brien did not have his team ready. His team's not as good as Andy's, obviously, but they weren't ready.
Right.
Okay, will Bill have his team ready? Yes. Yeah. But who's on his team? What's left at receiver? Did he beef up his receiving core that ranked dead last in separation last year? The worst receiving core by Pro Football Focus analysis in Tom Brady's 19 years in New England. Did he beef it up?
No.
No. It's the same stuff. It's Julian Edelman, maybe a little healthier. It's N'Keal Harry trying to find his way. So I wrote down for Cam 220 yards passing. That would be tremendous. I wrote down 40 yards rushing.
Were we close?
Very good. We're close. We're in the ballpark. Right. Will that be enough to overcome a Ryan Fitzpatrick who has a pretty good feel for the the Patriots secondary?
Right.
He was. Do you know Ryan Fitzpatrick last year in that game had a QBR of 91?
Yeah, right. He's been known because remember opening day a couple of years ago he throws for 400.
He threw for 320, and again Devontae was getting loose on Stephon. Will that happen again? Probably not.
Well, Skip, that says Gilmore's been dealing with a hamstring injury, so it's going to be very interesting. Skip, this year is kind of like this big movie, this big blockbuster that's coming out, and we don't see the trailer. Oh, it's going to be a great movie. Okay, can I see the trailer?
There are a lot of blockbusters.
Exactly.
Can't wait.
So now, Skip, it's like the season started, but we didn't see any preseason. So we have no idea what to expect.
Okay.
So, and that's why I'm looking at Cam. This is what I think Cam's going to do, but if I could have saw a preseason game, I'm like, okay, well, Cam looking like the whole Cam.
To your point, we haven't seen him much at all.
No.
Okay, because you just get thrown in the fire?
It's been basically a year. What, Cam played 2 games last year? So it's basically been almost a year.
Okay. So I told you going in, off last year's one-loss records, the toughest schedule in the National Football League is New England's. And I look down at it and I say, man, this just gets nothing but harder.
We're going to start to say, I don't know about that schedule. I don't even look at the schedule. All I do is we go one at a time. We just put one team up there. So right now in that one block is the Miami Dolphins. We trying to go 1-0. I don't worry about what's going to happen after that.
Would you believe this is the easiest game on the schedule? Seriously, I don't, maybe Jets at home, but I think Jets are better than the Dolphins. I don't know. Maybe not.
You know what I'm saying? This is how I look at it, Skip. All of it's easy. Money Mayweather, I had a conversation with Money Mayweather the other day. He said all of my fights.
The other day?
Yeah. I talked to him on the phone. Talked to him on the phone.
You called him?
Yeah. Yep, sure did. But anyway, I said, man, what was your hardest fight? He said, all of it was easy. He said, I'm Money Mayweather.
Well, who did he ever fight?
Everybody.
He did not.
Everybody. Pacquiao, De La Hoya, Shane Mayweather. He beat Cotto. He beat Corrales. You name him. Arturo Gotti.
Oscar when he was on his last legs.
Medina. Who else you want? Ricky. Who else?
Conor McGregor.
Oh, man. He tried to get Conor again.
Yep.
Easy money right there.
I don't know we got on Floyd because I'm looking down this schedule and I'm saying, you know what? You'd better win this game because now you go to Seattle. Then you got the Raiders, but you go to Kansas City in game number 4. You got Denver, so you should be able to win that.
Whoa. Back up. What do you mean you should be able to win that?
Well, Drew Lock, really? Oh, you're really believing in that?
I mean, I would feel better.
Do you believe in it?
Have Vaughn not gotten injured.
Yeah. Then come the 49ers. At Buffalo. At Jets. At Jets, not a cakewalk.
Two.
Baltimore. At Houston, I don't know. Arizona, I think Arizona's going to be a wild card team this year. Do not write them off. Then you go to L.A. and play both Chargers and Rams. You're going to lose one of those games. Then you go to the Dolphins in Here we go on December 20th. You know what happens in those games.
When we play Arizona, the field ain't big enough but for one number one.
Really?
Ain't number one. And we the real one.
Are you? Well, listen, the little number one's going to be really big this year. You watch. So I'm just kind of looking hard, even though they're a 6.5-point favorite. I think the Dolphins are probably a little better right now.
Can we get a case on that or something?
No, I just told you it's a gut feeling. It's a gut feeling. Maybe it's hard.
Well, I want some do in my gut.
None. I bet none.
I want some do in my gut.
No, I just want two more cases.
I give you 6.5. I give you the 6.5.
Okay, I'll do that for one case.
Okay.
One case, 6.5. Thank you. I talked you all. I had to lure you all the way home.
No, I was hoping.
Finally, you took the bait.
No, because actually I had wrote down, I felt the Patriots were going to win by 7. And I still do, yeah.
Oh, so
6.5.
You're going to beat me by half point? Okay, here we go.
Saw you coming.
No mercy.
The Cowboys will be right here in LA Sunday night to take on the Rams under the bright new lights of SoFi Stadium. Dallas comes in as a slight favorite as head coach Mike McCarthy makes his Cowboys debut, and Dak Prescott will become the first quarterback to play on the franchise tag in franchise history. Now, we are joined now by Fox Sports NFL analyst and Rams legend, Eric Dickerson. Eric, who wins this game on Sunday?
Let me tell you why I think they're going to win. Let's go with that first, if you don't mind. You know, I think the Cowboys have a very good football team, especially on paper. They look good. I mean, they've got Zeke, they've got Dak, they've got Amari Cooper, they've got CeeDee Lamb, they've got Michael Gallup, and they have a new head coach. One of the things is having new head coaches, they have played no preseason games. Preseason to me is very important. And I think people don't like preseason. Some people do like preseason. I think it's important because it gives you your timing. And this football team does not have the timing that I think that they need to have under their new head coach. The offensive line, it's a good offensive line. I don't think it's as good as people think it is. You know, they have a team that they lost their center. I think they have a secondary that is very beatable. So I'll say that to say this. Me personally, I think the Rams win this football game, and then I'll tell you why I think the Rams win the game. I think it's 27-24 Rams. You know, we have a coach, Sean McVay. We know Sean McVay likes to throw the football. I think the era without Todd, we're out without Todd Gurley now. I think it's good for Todd, for Sean McVay, because he doesn't have to say, look, I have Todd over here now to run him, you know, putting that pressure on him. So he doesn't have to have that. He doesn't have to worry about that. He has 3 young running backs. Malcolm Brown's not young. You got Cam Akers, you got Darrell Henderson, you got Malcolm Brown. And one thing that Goff does very well, if it's a shootout, he seems to play very well in the shootout. I like our receivers. I like Robert Woods, very reliable. I like Cooper Kupp, runs a great routes. Tyler Higbee. I think our defense with Aaron Donald, I know that Skip is always saying Aaron Donald is not that good. Aaron Donald is the man.
He is.
And I think we're in that new stadium. I think the Rams win this football game 27-24 Rams.
Wow. I'm taking the Rams as well. My score was 24-23 Rams. Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey on the defensive side. They brought Brockers back. And I think that's the biggest thing is that when you do it, and Edie, you touched on this, the Rams are going to be basically the same. They're going to be running the same offense, the familiarity. And I agree with you also, Edie. I wanted to play in the preseason because I don't know how Kansas City played as well as they did with no preseason games. But I needed a rhythm. I needed a timing. I needed to bang into people that weren't, my teammates, and to get my conditioning and to feel like I'm in an actual game. Practice is practice, but you need that game time flow. And so I love all those weapons that they have. And you're right. If Sean McVay want to throw the ball, you don't have an obligation because you don't have a guy in the backfield at $13, $14 million and you feel you must get him 25, 30 carries a game. There might be some games where Jared Goff is going to throw the ball 40 times. That's okay if that's what you do. But I love I love his play calling. Last year, I love Sean McVay. He's a great mind. Skip, Aaron Donald going to show you why he's the best defensive player in football. 2.5 sacks, and J. Ram just got that big money. Watch Ram do it.
My turn. Mr. Rambassador. We owe you for what happened in that playoff game out here 2 years ago in the Coliseum. This is in brand new SoFi. Maybe it won't exactly feel like home sweet home quite yet, There are going to be 0 fans in the stands, so I don't know exactly how much home field advantage you're really going to feel on Sunday night.
Ain't no
right?
home field advantage.
No home field advantage. The odds makers, who knew? They say my team is a 3-point favorite at your team. I'm going to take that and run with it. And ironically, Mr. Rambassador, you said 27-24 home team. I'd already picked 27-24 visiting team. And I say it will come down to a field goal kicked by my new kicker, your old kicker, Greg the Leg Zerline. I got Greg the Leg, and I no longer have Brett the Fret, as in Maher, who was statistically the worst kicker in football last year. I know Greg the Leg didn't have the best year for you last year, but he's way better than what I had, and I say he will get some revenge on the Rams for letting him go. So here we go, and you brought it up. I'm going to address the elephant in the room right now, Aaron Donald. I didn't say he was overrated or no good. I just said again and again and again on this show, he's not the second or first best player in all of football. He doesn't play quarterback. If you want to make him the 15th best player, I'd say that's really good, because for a defensive tackle, I'll go 15th best player. But you know what? What's his name again? Is it Donald Aaron or Aaron Donald? Oh, Donald. No, it's Aaron Donald.
You'll find out on Sunday night.
There are times against my Cowboys, he's played them 4 times in his career. He's been more like Donald Aaron.
What's his record, though?
Well, what are his stats? You see any sacks? I don't see any sacks.
You'll see it Sunday night.
Other people get sacked.
Okay, it's highly possible that I have now inspired an Aaron Donald, who's a good guy. He's a great guy, by all accounts. I don't know him, but he's always getting mad at me on social. So maybe I've inspired him. He will terrorize Dak Prescott with 4 sacks. If I did that, then it's on me. It's my fault. But I'm not worried yet about that.
Okay, you know why you're not worried? Because you're not going to be on the center. Dak going to be with that. See, Dak got to suffer for your comments.
Yeah, and under center means it's not Travis Frederick.
Exactly.
Yeah, that could be a problem.
Shannon, you know, one thing, I like I said earlier, and you agree with me, that preseason is important. I'm telling you. A lot of guys, you know, they don't like preseason, but I didn't like it, but I thought I needed it. And especially having a new head coach. You know, Mike McCarthy's never coached the Cowboys in an actual football game. You know, it's different in practice, and you know, he doesn't know how Dak is going to react to him, how Zeke is going to react to him. And one thing is, you know, it's only one football. You know, and the Cowboys have a lot of mouths to feed. I mean, you know, you think Zeke going to be cool with running the ball 10 times and Dak throwing it 40 times? No, I don't. I mean, I just feel like that this is a coach who's got to feel his way out. I think this is a tough opener. You know, they could say it's not. We don't have the fans in the stadium. It is a brand new stadium. The Cowboys have never played there. The Rams have never played there. But we have practice there. You know, practice is practice. But I just feel like that this is a setup. And you talk about Vegas giving you the 3 points. You know, you ever heard of a trap? That's a trap. I get everybody's betting on the Cowboys because, and I'll say it again, Skip. I think later in the season, you know, if the Cowboys have played together for a while, they are a good football team. I can't take that away from them. You know, I'm not a Cowboy fan. You always say I'm a Cowboy undercover lover, but I'm not a Cowboy fan. But I call it like I see it. I feel like they're a good football team. But I think right now they're primed for the picking, and I think we're going to pick them off.
So speaking of setting the trap, now we come to the moment of truth. I will bet my friend across the table 1 case of Diet Mountain Dew that I got Cowboys straight up.
No,
I got Cowboys. Yes, yes. They're on the road.
No,
against
y'all 3.5-point
favorite. This team was in the Super Bowl just 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's okay.
Come on.
No,
I'll take 1 case.
3.5.
Yeah.
I gave you 6.5. Give me 3.5.
Rambassador, I'll bet you straight up I'll take Cowboys for a dinner. How about that? A dinner of your choice.
Should I take it, Shannon?
No.
You know what? I'm the Rambassador. Of course I'm going to take that bet. I'll take it. You got it, Skip.
Boom. He had the guts.
Give me 3.5, Skip.
No. What? 3.5?
There are no
it's
fans.
3.
Okay, well, give me 3.
Well, you just went on. You made this strong case. Aaron Donald's going to terrorize Dak Prescott.
Y'all are favorite.
You got Aaron Donald. You got the best player in football on your team. I don't have him.
Let me ask you a question. How many road teams are favored this week?
I don't know.
Your team's favorite.
Yeah. Well, what does that tell you? You scared?
Yeah, give me 3 points.
No.
I need a 3.
You were all pumped up over there, all puffed up about.
3.
Oh, this is
3.
You made a strong case. No. No.
Skip, 3 points. What's 3 points?
The Ambassador just took it straight up.
Hold on.
I'm good.
Y'all
I'm
got
good.
Dak, Amari, CD, Michael Gallup.
Enough. I'm good.
Come on, Shannon, take the bet. Take the bet, Shannon.
No, we already got a bet. We already got a New England bet. He done sucker me into.
Well, I can't wait for Sunday night. This is going to be a fun, close game. Eric, thank you so much for joining us.
No mercy.
Tom Brady will make his Buccaneers debut right here on Fox at 4:25 Eastern against the Saints and Drew Brees. It will be a historic matchup featuring the top 2 all-time leaders in passing yards and touchdowns, but it will also be the first game in NFL history to feature 2 starting quarterbacks over the age of 40. So, Shannon, who wins this game?
I like the Saints.
You love the Saints.
I love the Saints a lot. That's my Super Bowl pick in the NFC. I love the addition of Emmanuel Sanders, a guy that can run the short and intermediate routes. He can also get deep, can take some of the pressure off of Michael Thomas because I still don't understand how Michael Thomas can catch all these balls with really no secondary option. And he did a phenomenal job doing that. So they added Emmanuel Sanders and you kept Mike Thomas. Alvin Kamara is going to have a big year. Jared Cook is a very underrated tight end. I love Drew Brees. And the thing is, people like Drew Brees is losing arm strength. Drew Brees is not a guy that just drops back and throws the ball down the field. When he gets those shot plays, because they normally come off an action, and he has guys running wide open. So I love what they do. And defensively, they're going to be good. Davenport, Cam Jordan, DeMario Davis, Lattimore in the secondary. I love the addition of Malcolm Jenkins. I'm going to take the Saints. I say they win this game 27-24.
I first guessed this game the day I saw the schedule, whatever that was, how many days ago that was. I said the NFL saddled them with their hardest game to start. Now, I didn't know there was going to be no fans in the stands, so that discounts the home field.
Oh, yeah.
Quite a bit, because you can argue this is the toughest place to play in the league.
Yep.
But I've given you all along, the Saints are really loaded. On paper, you can make a strong case they have the best roster in the NFL. Obviously, when you have the quarterback and the coach in sync and in rhythm and in place all these years, they should be a little readier to play game number 1 than Brady with a new coaching staff, right? And no preseason. So I'm going to go home team. I'm going Saints, but I picked this a long time ago. I think it's going to be higher scoring than you do.
Oh, do you?
I got 33-30.
Okay.
But I think it'll feel like a shootout. I think there are going to be a lot of passing yards, but I got one bad break. Mike Evans pulled his hamstring. So I don't know. They're kind of being a little elusive about it. So I don't know. They said game time decision. It doesn't sound good to me. And obviously, you could argue he's the biggest weapon on the whole offense. Right?
Yes.
I know Chris Godwin was ranked high. His performances were graded higher. He's just a better receiver. And he's, what is he, 6'5", and he's both a combo possession receiver and he can get behind you. Okay, so he's really good. Maybe not quite as good as that guy you got on Sunday, but still, he's going to be missing. So it's going to be a big missing piece to their puzzle.
You still believe they can get to 30 without Mike Evans?
I do. Scotty Miller, big game.
Man, you stop
Scotty Miller. Pew, pew, pew. Watch. He's going to have to split out more. You say he's just a little slot receiver.
That's what he is.
He's little, but he can fly. And they've been splitting him out in practice. And I see all these videos of Brady's just bombs away. And Brady looks like at 43, he can still throw it down the field. I don't know. Who knew?
What's good? I can still go out there and catch it. As long as nobody don't hit me.
Okay. Well, you think he's going to get rocked?
He's going to get rocked.
So here's what's going to happen. They're going to lose the opener at New Orleans because that's by far their toughest game. And then I dare anybody to call up the schedule and try to digest it going down the schedule. It's to me, the easiest schedule in the NFL. After this, it goes Panthers, Broncos,
loss,
Chargers, at Bears, Packers at home,
loss,
Raiders, at Raiders. You're going to give me a loss? Go ahead. At Giants, come on. Then Saints at home, get even, get revenge.
Loss.
At Carolina, really? You want to give them? No. Then Rams at home, then Chiefs at home.
Lost.
Then Vikings at home.
Lost.
And I'll give you at Falcons. That can be
Lost.
dicey, a division game. And then at Detroit. And stop. No, I know they're going to be improved.
Matt Patricia knows him.
Okay,
Lost.
he knows him. Yeah, and then Atlanta at home. I'm telling you, they could get on a roll. They could win 10 in a row after this game. They are going to go 12-4.
10-6, the best you do.
12-4, and they're going to win the NFC South, and they are going to have a bye, and they are going to win 2 playoff games at home, and they are going to the Super Bowl, which this year is played in Tampa Bay.
10-6.
Yep, you heard it here first.
Okay, you heard it from me second.
Okay.
10-6
Okay.
is the best you could hopefully do.
Okay, you keep saying 9-7, 10-6. Which is it? I'll put you on record right now.
I'm getting. Look, you're going to be a wild card. You're not winning the division. You're going on the road. How about that one?
Why don't you have the guts to say they're going to miss the playoffs?
No, you would have if they hadn't added that extra playoff spot. You would have missed the playoffs.
You told me Tom Brady is a washed-up noodle arm quarterback. Am I right?
Hold on, Skip. He got so much around him that people can. Sometimes you get tired and somebody can drag you across the finish line.
Okay.
Dragging him. He ain't pulling nobody. They pulling him. So, with that being said, you catching the L. The best you could hopefully do is 10-6. You will not win the NFC South. You will not be the NFC representative in the Super Bowl.
Tom Brady will lift them to 12-4. Tom Brady will have big numbers on Sunday, but defensively they won't be quite good enough because I do have some small question about their secondary.
Yeah, but
not their front seven, but their secondary. Yeah. And I think Drew Brees and company and Michael Thomas will have their way this time, but not the next time in Tampa Bay.
Al said the quarterback must go down, and he must go down hard.
Well, that's what he said. Al Davis, that was like 3 decades ago, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, probably longer than that.
Maybe longer than that, okay? So that's prehistoric.
Cam Jordan.
Yeah.
Gonna put him on his back.
Really?
Davenport will put him on his back.
Pliability.
Oh, he going down hard.
Pliability is an ability. He's got it. Pliability.
He will go down often. Saints have at least 4 sacks.
Really?
At the bare minimum.
I'm writing this down.
Write it down. Take a picture of it.
Okay. They got 2 really good tackles.
No, they don't.
Yep.
No, they don't.
Donovan Smith,
One's a rookie.
Christian Wirfs.
And most people think he was the 4th best of the tackles.
No, I think he's the first best.
No, he was not. He was.
Watch. He's going to be very quiet on Sunday because he's not going to give up any sacks.
So he gonna shut Cam Jordan out.
You heard it here first. You said 4 sacks.
Okay.
I say he won't give up one.
Okay. He ain't gonna be splitting it. I mean, it's a whole different ball game.
You get to gloat one Monday about Tampa Bay, and then after that, you're going to be eating crow every week. I got maybe 10 straight wins here.
Man, if Von had the guy hurt, because you know what Von Miller does to him.
Yep.
You know he hate to see Von Miller. But y'all caught a break. You caught a break.
Yep.
But you won't catch one the first week. That's for sure.
No mercy.
Now, Mike Sando of The Athletic got NFL executives to give their unfiltered concerns about each team heading into the season. Now, one anonymous exec said of the Cowboys, quote, "I like them a lot, more in July than I do in September," pointing to injuries on the team as well as failing to get a deal done with Dak Prescott. So, Shannon, what's the Cowboys' record and how far do they go?
Well, my thing is, Skip, is that you knew in July they weren't going to have a deal done with Dak. And after the 15th, they couldn't get a deal done. So what were you thinking?
You mean the anonymous?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right.
I'm trying to figure out, obviously he knows after July 15th, you can't negotiate a long-term deal with a guy on a franchise tag. It doesn't happen until the next league year. For me, I've gained or lost nothing. I believe the Cowboys are going to be where they are. I got them 9-7 and possibly getting that 7th playoff spot, Skip, because now they added that extra playoff game. But that's it. They're not winning the playoff game. If that's what you, and I know, you all, you're very superstitious. 2014 they did this. 2017 15 they didn't. 18, 2019. So this is our year.
Every other year.
You believe that too, don't you?
That was under old 8-8 Jason.
Oh, my God. So what happened to the
new day?
What happened to the Cowboys in the 90s when they were going to the playoffs every year? They were 12-4, 13-3, going to the playoffs, going to Super Bowl every year.
That was all about Jerry Jones. Oh, no, it wasn't.
Okay.
It was about Jimmy Johnson and Jerry.
For me, the reasons why, look, obviously, Dak wanted to get paid. He think he deserved X. Jerry wanted to pay him whatever he wanted to pay Y, not what Dak wanted. Skip, I just think I'm still not a believer in the secondary. I want to see Aldon Smith. I know they've been raving about him in practice. I want to see him in a game against a competition. I just don't believe you've been hyping C.D. Lamb, and I think C.D. Lamb will be good. But they got him. He's got to be Randy Moss. With the hype he's received, he needs to be Randy Moss in his rookie season. And I just don't see that happening.
There was only one of those guys.
Okay.
One.
But
I never said he was Randy
You've been hyping
Moss.
him. They've been hyping.
I said he's the best of the rookie receivers. He's better than Jerry Jeudy.
No.
And he soon will be the #1 receiver in Dallas.
The best I can do for you, Skip, is 97. I wish I could give you more than that, but I can't. You're not going to win the division. The Eagles are going to win the division. You know why? Quarterback play. Ours is better than yours.
Wait, this is the same quarterback that you were pushing to get $40-some million.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
But he's not as good as Carson Wentz.
Skip. That's not how the quarterback market works, and you know it. You know
I don't know that. $42 million? You can't do that. It would shatter your cap, which is why you've been pushing.
What?
Hold
on. He just see this man paying everybody. You're not worried about no cap. But now all of a sudden it's time for me to get my money. You concerned about the cap? It's amazing. Guess what? Guess what he just did? He just turned Zach Martin's salary into a signing bonus. So now he has $8 million in cap. You see how they do the cap? When they want, listen, the one thing I know about playing in this league and covering this league, playing in it for 14 and covering the last 16.
Yep.
When they want to sign a player, it's amazing where they find money from. It's amazing how they rework contracts to get deals done when they want to get it done. If Jerry wanted to sign Dak Prescott, this deal would have already been done. It would have already been in the bank.
And then you would have been ripping Jerry Jones for overpaying Dak Prescott.
No, what?
To whom you gave 7 Fs in his last 13 starts last year.
You keep saying I gave him to him. He earned them.
Okay.
He took the test and he didn't pass.
You signed off on 13 Fs that he got. I mean, 7 Fs in 13 games.
Yeah.
That's a lot of Fs, man. That's fail flunk.
Skip, you know how this works. Now, when he was going through this process, when he was taking the class, you said he was passing. It was not until the end of the semester that you told him he had not passed the class because what he had asked for was a recommendation. And you said, no, I can't give you that. So what Jerry has told him, he's franchise, Dak Prescott. I got no, Dak Prescott, Dak Prescott. Stop. Oh, we gonna get married. You keep talking about, we gonna get married. No, you didn't. All you gave him was a promise ring. Skip, you know, back in high school, back in the day, you know, you get him a ring. I promise. No, you didn't. Sign it. $40 million.
Okay, back to the question at hand. I'm being arch conservative. I'm trying to govern my emotions. I'm trying not to jinx a team I still believe is very good and capable of getting to this year's Super Bowl. But I'm not going to predict that.
What you going to predict?
I'm going to predict 10-6, which will be one game better than the 9-7 Winces, as I call Carson, W-I-N-C-E, Carson Wentz, who got all these accolades for beating the Giants and the Redskins.
You beat them too. They in your division also. You beat them.
What a miraculous run to the playoffs for Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
Yeah.
He got knocked out of the game like a minute into it. He threw like 3 balls.
Yeah. Think about what Dak was before he got Amari. So imagine me taking Amari, me taking Gallup, taking that away. Imagine me taking his offensive line away. What would you think would happen? My guy with all those injuries beat your guy fully loaded.
17-9. And I told you, this is my #1 concern about this year and my Cowboys. I don't love it that even though I didn't want him to get $42 million because it would wreck the cap, he's a top 10 quarterback, but I have him like 10th. He's not, obviously, Patrick Mahomes. He's not quite Deshaun Watson, but he's really good. He's good enough to win Super Bowls. But
Skip, but here's the thing. Let me ask you a question. Deshaun Watson is probably not Russell Wilson, but that's not how the market works. You sign the contract afterwards, you keep going up.
Okay, but they have overpaid for so many stars that if you overpay at the quarterback position, he already makes $12 million more this year with the tag than the other highest paid Cowboy. He's $12 million over Amari Cooper at 20 and DeMarcus Lawrence at 20.
Skip, but that's not Dak's fault because Jerry was gung-ho and overpaid. So you want to make the correction. You want to correct the market on my dime.
Okay, so here's the problem with this scenario. I thought he struggled last year because he was pressing. And now you've thrown him right back into the same fire. Play for a deal. Every week, from week to week, will be advantage Dak. Take that, Jerry. And then Dak will have an off game. Take that, Dak. You know, Jerry's in command now.
You
right?
do that every week. Okay. He played good. That's my quarterback. He played bad. He's missing a little something.
I just don't like the pressure, the anticipation, the rising spotlight on my quarterback because he doesn't deserve it. And because he's under the tag and the best soap opera story in the NFL is going to be Jerry versus Dak, Dak versus Jerry, that I don't love the fact that he struggled so hard down the stretch last year. Remember, at New England, at Chicago, Buffalo, at Philadelphia, he wasn't very good. And you gave him Fs, and he deserved a couple of them.
Skip, you do know this. If Dak Prescott finishes the season healthy, he's not making less than the 38 franchise from the Cowboys, right? Or he'll be a free agent and he'll get what the market will bear, which will be $40 million. You do realize that. So you can say he can go 8-8, you can say whatever. If he walks off a field healthy, the least amount of money that Dak Prescott is going to make is the $38.1 or $38.2 million as a franchise player. Or Jerry says, I'm not signing you. He hits the market as a totally free agent.
He will not do that.
So,
and the only way he's going to get what he wants, which is a 4-year deal at $40-some million a year, maybe 45 after this year, get up in the Mahomes class, the only way that happens is if he lifts this team to the Super Bowl this year.
Skip, you under the assumption that only the Cowboys can give him what he wants. Who says he wants to be there?
Well, they've got his services with 2 tags.
But he didn't say that.
Okay, well,
he says, this is what I want.
Okay,
he didn't say
he has no say in the matter.
Okay, then. And you got no say on what I'm going to do. Okay. So all I'm saying is this, Skip, is that he knows this.
Okay.
No matter how bad he plays, he's getting $38 million or he's getting 40 plus from somebody else.
Okay.
Simple.
So back to the question at hand. I got 10-6 and 1 playoff win this year, which would be pretty good. But obviously back to this quote at hand, yeah, they lost Gerald McCoy, and I don't know about Randy Gregory, and Sean Lee's hurt again, and obviously Amari keeps missing practice for weird reasons. Travis Frederick is retired. Lyle Collins is now on IR for 4 weeks. Those things scare me, but what scares me the most about my team is no Earl Thomas. I kept pushing. I know he can be a bad actor. I know he can be hard to coach, but is he better than what is at safety? Darian Thompson, Xavier Woods. I know the coaches have fallen, and you know what happens in...
Not if he's bad for your locker room, he ain't better.
Well, I just don't know. He's just such a gamer.
Skip.
He had a good year. He was a Pro Bowl player last year.
And they wanted him out. Skip, that should tell you something.
Well, Seattle wanted him out.
Yes.
Yep.
I mean, you talk about 2 locker rooms that are so player-friendly.
Yep.
The coaches are players' coaches, and they say, get him out.
And Sunday night, when you watch my safeties chasing Rams all the way into the end zone, you're going to say, glad they didn't sign Earl Thomas.
No,
right?
No. Hey. The Cowboys, look, the one thing about Jared knows what he's going to get. Now, if Jared signs him, I don't, whatever.
We got to restate our bet. We have 5 cases bet. I've got Cowboys winning the East. You got Eagles.
You got Eagles.
5 cases.
Yeah.
You good with that?
Yeah.
Done. Next question.
Saw you coming.
Yeah.
You fall for it every time. I get you every year, Skip.
Oh, I said it earlier, but
like
Skip, I'm feeling good about your Cowboys this season.
no mercy.
Now, Lou Williams is looking to cash in on his Magic City mishap. The Clippers guard posted on Instagram that he's working with lawyers to trademark the phrase Lemon Pepper Lou. Part of his caption also read, "Y'all make jokes and T-shirts, but it's gonna cost ya." So, Shannon, do you like him owning his nickname?
Yeah, well, hold on, Skip. What about cut? Do I get a cut or something, Skip?
Did you come up with that?
Yeah, man.
You did?
Man, Lou, I know you gonna cut your boy in on something.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so you didn't find that on Twitter?
No, that's
you
me.
Came up with it? Okay.
Well, actually, Magic City came up with it.
Magic City came up with it?
Well, he got his own dish.
Yeah.
So I figured it was appropriate.
All right.
Hey, I ain't got no problem with it. Laugh at it. Because that's your name now, bro. That's what everybody go call you. So you might as well make some money on it, Skip.
Well, aren't you impressed that he did own it?
Yeah.
He's like trying to drain the poison out of it, so to speak, he just said, I embrace it. I trademark it. It's mine. If you want to laugh at me by buying T-shirts that make fun of me, it's going to cost you.
Yeah, I don't, hey, make money. I can't believe he ain't going to cut his boy in on a little something.
No?
I should get like 5%.
Well, have you ever heard of somebody embracing a really controversial negative nickname?
No.
I haven't either.
I haven't either. No.
This is like a first for me because it was a first that he left the bubble and did what he did.
Right. But like you said, he's trying to drain the toxicity of it.
Yeah.
And, hey, I'm going to make light of it. I'm going to laugh at it. But I'm going to be laughing ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. I'm going to laugh all the way to the bank. So might as well, Skip. Hey, have fun with it, Lou.
So in the bubble, he has been more sweet and sour, Lou, because he's been hot and mostly cold in the bubble.
Yeah.
That has to change tonight because Denver, again, an 8.5-point dog, did come back on Utah from 3-1 down, and they are dangerous because they are explosive.
Well, I don't think they can come all the way back, but I just think the next round they're gonna need the 3-time Sixth Man of the Year, Lou Williams. They're gonna need that old guy as opposed to this guy that's been in the bubble because they're gonna need that kind of production from him and Trez off the bench, especially if Rondo's gonna give you that kind of production and Caruso, because that's the difference between the Clippers. They give you 50, 60 points from their bench.
Kawhi's creaky knees need some time off, so they need to close out tonight.
Oh, no, we got this one.
Yep.
Well, that's
Let's
all
go,
we have
Dogs.
for you guys today. Enjoy our first NFL weekend. We will be back Monday at 9:30 Eastern.